All right. Boom. Welcome back to On to the Next Thing. I'm Mikkel, your host. And this is episode, what is that, 34, 35? I don't remember because I did like a video episode at one point. It wasn't really the podcast, but I labeled it as like episode 35, but it was really because I just redid a bunch of recordings on the video editing software and then just named them concurrent numbers. So I don't know which episode I'm on yet. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research and detective work afterwards. But we have a lot to talk about today because I've been missing out over the past couple weeks, and I don't know whether I'm ever gonna get to talk again on this podcast during the rest of this month because I've just been on a just horrendous recording schedule. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. I mean, I've been off for a little while. I visited my hometown. And I'm low-key, I'm pretty sure Mercury being retrograde is a real thing. Well, I know it's a real thing, but like astrology. Like, is astrology real? I normally don't think it's real, but I think astrology might be real now. And we're going to discuss that. But before we do that, we got to get into bird news. Headlines. ZME Science. The myth that wind farms are a guillotine for birds is being debunked by hard data. I'll show you some hard data. Author is Mihai Andrei. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. In the late 1980s, the Altamont Pass in California became the ground zero of a PR nightmare for renewable energy. Thousands of small, fast-spinning turbines were erected directly in the flight paths of golden eagles. Okay, I wasn't laughing because of golden eagles flying into wind turbines. I'm laughing because I saw something else really funny outside. You guys can't see it. It was one of the earliest large-scale renewable energy projects, and the result was a tragic, high-profile disaster that cemented wind energy as a guillotine for birds. Fast forward almost 40 years, and where are we now? Oh, there we go. That's the angle where the microphone actually works. Fast forward almost 40 years. Where are we now? Ask most people, and the image of wind turbines as bird killers still persists, often amplified by anti-renewable rhetoric. But if you look at the hard data, different story emerges. Turns out that while wind turbines do kill birds, they are statistically insignificant compared to the bigger killers we have in our cities and in our bedrooms. Oh, hard data. In fact, when you factor in climate change, wind power might actually help birds. What kills birds? In the United States, wind turbines are estimated to kill between 140,000 and 681,000 birds annually. That's a high number, and we can absolutely do better. Let's put it into perspective with other figures from the U.S. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Amazon, fuck off. Got an Amazon pop-up. Power lines in the U.S. kill between 12 and 64 million birds. Electrocution alone, for instance, when birds perched on poles stretch their wings and connect two energized parts, is estimated to kill over 900,000 birds. Vehicle collisions kill between 89 million and 340 million birds annually. Meanwhile, glass buildings kill up to almost 1 billion birds a year, and that's still not the biggest killer. It's going to be cats. It's going to be cats. It's going to be cats. Yes, biggest bird killer in the U.S. and likely the world is cats. Outdoor cats kill somewhere between 1.3 billion and 4 billion birds a year in the U.S. alone. Let's put it this way. Okay. Let's put it this way. For every one bird that dies in the blades of a turbine, domestic cats are dragging roughly 4,000 back to the porch. That's another way to look at it. Wind energy kills roughly 0.27 to 0.4 birds per GWH, gigawatt. Gigawatt. Fossil fuels sources kill, on average, 5.2 birds per gigawatt through habitat destruction, mercury poisoning, and acid rain. It's not even counting climate change. The figures above aren't meant to say that wind energy isn't a problem for birds. It absolutely can be. Some projects have been disastrous for local bird populations, but put it into context, and suddenly wind energy doesn't seem like that big of a problem. Granted, some of the figures are a bit more than a decade old, and we've built a lot more wind energy since, but that doesn't necessarily make things worse. How to bird-proof wind turbines? You'd think an eagle can spot a rabbit from 2 miles away would see a 400-foot tower and just move. But it doesn't work that way because of something called motion smear. As a turbine blade speeds up, the human eye, and the avian eye, stops seeing it as a solid object. It becomes a transparent blur. To a bird, the space between the blades looks like empty air. By the time they realize something is there, they're already inside the rotor-swept zone. It's worse for some birds than others. Eagles have incredible focus, but they're fucking stupid. Okay, no. Eagles have incredible focus, but it's directional. When they hunt, they pitch their heads down. They're scanning the grass for movement, not looking straight ahead. They have a blind spot right there where the turbine is. Okay, I need to get this fucking microphone closer to me. My shit is not showing up on the feed. Get in there. They are scanning the grass for movement. Okay, I already saw it. Blind spot, right where the turbine is. But modern wind turbines aren't as bad as the older ones for birds. Back in the 1980s, turbines like those at the infamous Altamont Pass were small, packed tightly together, and their blades spun quickly. Those fast-rotating blades were nearly impossible for a hunting hawk or eagle to see. Modern turbines have pivoted to a slow and steady approach. They are massive, spaced further apart, and their blades rotate at a much lower RPM. Furthermore, a landmark study at the Smola wind farm in Norway showed that painting one of the 3 turbine blades black breaks up the motion smear, allowing the bird's brain to recognize the flicker as a solid object. The result was a 70% reduction in total bird fatalities, and eagle deaths at the treated turbines dropped to 0. A more high-tech solution called Identiflight uses a tower of high-resolution cameras equipped with artificial intelligence and slows down the turbine if a bird is coming nearby. Studies at the top of the World Wind Farm in Wyoming found that this AI reduced eagle deaths by 85% while only reducing the energy output by 1%. Lastly, planning has also gotten much better. By using GPS tracking data from migratory birds and local populations, researchers know where the birds tend to go, and they can direct the construction in safer areas. This avoidance-first strategy is the most cost-effective mitigation tool available. A well-sited wind farm in a low-risk pasture can produce the same green energy as one in a high-risk cliffside, but with a fraction of the ecological harm. The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, RSBP, notes that if wind farms are located away from major migration routes and important feeding, breeding, and roosting areas of those bird species known or suspected to be at risk, it is likely that they will have minimal impacts. This view is supported by several reports on onshore wind. Oh, there's even more to it, but that seems like the end. Oh, the bottom line. Okay, there we go, bottom line. We have to be honest about the trade-offs. Yes, turbines kill birds. Yes, in some areas they can have an impact on local populations. We should absolutely do our best to reduce or eliminate this problem. This problem is an order of 2 magnitudes smaller than what power lines, cars, buildings, or cats do. Oh, and there's something else that kills birds and we haven't looked at. Climate change. Climate change is one of the biggest problems for birds worldwide, along with habitat destruction. The National Audubon Society warns that 2/3 of North American bird species are at risk of extinction because of rising temperatures. As habitats shift, food sources vanish, and mega fires become the norm. The birds we were trying to save from turbines are losing their homes entirely. If we stop building wind farms to save a few thousand birds today, we may be sentencing millions of birds to death by climate collapse tomorrow. It is a brutal calculation, but it's the one we're facing. That's another perfect end to the article, but there's still more. Wind turbines aren't the villains of the bird world. They are a specific manageable problem in a much larger race. We can move past the era of dumb infrastructure. We no longer have to choose between a dead eagle and a dead planet. By combining smarter sighting, painted black visual cues, and AI-driven shutdown systems, and making small power sacrifices, we can power a modern civilization without emptying the skies. Wow. Boom. Big fucking truth bomb from ZME Science. Hope we start building more wind or something. I know there's definitely still wind projects going, but I've heard they're getting their funding fucking smashed, but we don't got anything to say about that. Oh, by the way, I know that some of you are probably screaming at me, "Hey, Michael, isn't there something else that you should maybe be talking about that's important in the world?" And to that I say, nuh-uh. Next bird headline. Bird extinction. Nope, not that one. Not fucking Forbes. Fuck you, Forbes. Fox 10 Phoenix. That's not the headline. That's the station. Tourist bird-brained Vegas stunt with flamingo lands him behind bars on felony charges. Oh my god. This is by Sarah Rumpf-Witten from Fox 10. Okay, this looks wild. Okay, there's an image here at the top. And there's a shirtless man of indeterminate age. He looks like kind of an older dude. He kind of looks like, I don't know if you've seen that video recently of RFK Jr. and Kid Rock doing a fucking milk workout together. But he's shirtless and he's wearing jeans, so he really looks a lot like RFK Jr. in that photo. Like the kind of like old man steroid jacked that those guys kind of get. Or I guess it's like taking large amounts of testosterone. But anyway, he's using this testosterone to choke out a flamingo, which is fucking insane. The caption is, Mitchell Fairbarn allegedly grabbed a flamingo named Peachy from a casino habitat and brought it to his hotel room. That sounds horrifying. I wouldn't want to be a human being brought to that guy's hotel room. A Canadian tourist late-night bender took a decidedly bird-brained turn when authorities say he waddled into a Las Vegas resort and casino and wrangled a resident flamingo before carrying it off to his room. Mitchell Fairbairn, 33. 33? I thought that dude was like 50. Oh my god, it's just because the harsh lights of the hotel put like a silver streak in his hair. And he's in his 30s, but he looks fucked up from at least one of the angles. God damn. 33 was arrested Tuesday on 4 felony counts of animal abuse after allegedly removing a flamingo named Peachy from the Las Vegas Strip Resort's outdoor... Okay. A flamingo named Peachy from the Las Vegas Strip Resort's outdoor habitat around 5 a.m., according to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. The stunt ruffled more than a few feathers, with surveillance photos of the incident showing Fairbairn allegedly entering the habitat and roughly grabbing the bird by its legs. Other birds in the enclosure were also injured during the incident. What the fuck is this guy doing? What the fuck is his problem? Is he like slugging the other flamingos? Authorities allege Fairbairn brought Peachy to his 14th floor hotel room, where officers later found feathers and blood. What the fuck? Police also cited a video from a cell phone that they say shows the 33-year-old posing with the bird in the casino's hallways and hotel rooms. I don't even know if I want to finish this article. This seems like it's fucking horrendous. When interviewed by officers, Fairbairn said he had been drinking and claimed he was attempting to help the flamingo, telling police he believed the bird's wing was injured and that he was trying to pop it back into place. This is brutal. I almost want to cut this if it wasn't fucking good bird news here, or bad bird news. It's certainly important bird news. You shouldn't do this to fucking flamingos. What the fuck? Come in.
I was just peed in my dresser. Like in the nightstand.
Oh my god. Welcome back. I just recovered from a cat piss incident. Whether this is attached to Mercury being in retrograde, I have no idea, but we're going to get to that in a minute as soon as I'm done reading this article about a dude trying to reenact the pit on this flamingo in Las Vegas. Interviewed, blah, 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 pop it back in place. Fucked up. Police described the handling as harmful and intentional. Peachy's wing was injured during the incident and the bird is receiving veterinary care, hotel officials said. What the fuck? According to the resort and casino, the flamingo's wildlife habitat, an attraction at the Caesars entertainment property, houses Chilean flamingos and other animals in a garden setting just steps from the casino floors and cocktail service. In a statement, Caesars Entertainment condemned the incident, calling it cruel and unlawful behavior and saying the company is cooperating with law enforcement. Our wildlife team works diligently to ensure the health and safety of their animals in their care, they said. Yeah, I'm sure, keeping them next to an open bar. Genius stuff. Fairbairn remains in custody pending court proceedings. His initial court date is scheduled for Monday, March 9th. Jesus. Fucking whatever. Fucking keep him in Vegas. Put him in a desert cell. That dude sucks. What the fuck is that? Yeah, he looks like a rough 33, to be honest. I wasn't expecting him to be 33. That's kind of like the weirdest age it can be, because it's like you're old enough to know not to do that sort of thing, but then you're young enough where you shouldn't look that fucked up doing it. Anyway, all right, I think that's pretty much it for the bird news, which means we can get to our main topic. Yeah, I think we'll probably might as well just go right into main topic, because this is like some... Oh, there's the piss master himself. What? What the fuck?
His ass. I don't care.
You didn't spray him with bleach?
No.
Bleach.
Sorry, that's on camera. Where'd he go?
He's under my desk. The recording desk. What the fuck?
Never fuck with me again.
The war with the cats continues. Anyway, might as well get to the main topic of the day, because I did watch some movies recently, but I think we got to talk about Mercury being retrograde first. So let's go to this here. All right, I pulled up my most trusted source on astrology bullshit, which is the Old Farmer's Almanac, aka almanac.com. Or I believe it's the Old Farmer's Almanac website, but it could just be Almanac. Anyway, it doesn't matter. This article is Mercury retrograde dates for 2026, but I just wanted to know, what is Mercury retrograde? Now, my mom, who's a big believer in this sort of thing, she would always say Mercury's retrograde. But is she saying Mercury is retrograde, or does she think that it's the retrograde possessed by Mercury? Let's find out. What is Mercury retrograde? That's what they call it here. 3 to 4 times a year, the planet Mercury appears to reverse its course across the night sky. In astrology, these periods are called Mercury retrograde and are traditionally linked to confusion, delays, and disruptions in communication, travel, and decision making. Think undelivered love letters, email blunders, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they do a bunch of things, and then they talk about like why it looks like Mercury's moving backwards, which is just because it's like the position of the Earth and the speed of as they both orbit around the sun, and so when they cross a certain way, it looks like Mercury's moving backwards. Anyway, it's cool. It's whatever. It's because Mercury orbits faster than Earth does, and so it looks like it's going the other way. Anyway, the point is, it's supposed to cause like disruptions and stuff, but I didn't really, I never usually think about that sort of thing. I just kind of assume that I'm bad at organizing stuff, and that I can't talk to anyone, and that I don't know my directions, and I can't navigate, and I can't do anything. So there's probably been, perhaps, if this is real, multiple times that that Mercury being retrograde has affected my life in some way. But the thing is, I'm a man of science. I don't believe in any of that shit. Because it's like, it's the fucking planets, dude. Okay, we're a planet, that's a planet. Like, what does that have to do with anything, It's not even going backwards, It's not actually going backwards. It's like, it's whatever. But apparently we are currently, even as this episode is being recorded and probably edited and uploaded, yes. We're in the first retrograde of the year, which is February 26th to March 20th. And the other day, so I mean, I've been kind of doing other stuff. Like I probably, if it was affecting my work day, I wasn't noticing because I'm usually late to all of my field work anyway. And no one really cares because I'm kind of just scheduling it on my own, and it's not really like, it's not like the client's gonna sue my company, or probably. Mercury is retrograde, so I probably shouldn't say that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm normally late anyway, so if it affected me in that way, I probably didn't notice. Although I was feeling very disorganized this week, but once again, not unusual. But what really started to tip me off that something was wrong was I had set up a couple of, well, I had actually set up one doctor's appointment on the other day. And then I decided that, okay, I mean, I've been busy with work, but I could probably just get away with taking a sick day and just getting the one doctor's appointment done, and then getting some other like the test things that I wanted to get done at a different facility. And I'll just get those done in the same day. And I wasn't really thinking about, like, the appointment was one thing, then the test could just be done with like a walk-in. But for whatever reason, just the way that I was messaging back and forth with like online messaging portal with my doctor's office. And they just, for whatever reason, couldn't give me a fucking straight answer about where I was supposed to get these tests. Like, finally, they were like, oh, yeah, well, we prefer if you get them done at our office or on our, like, affiliate office at the hospital, and you can just get them done there. Just because it's easier for the insurance, and they'll know that your documents are legit and stuff like that, and you can just get it done. And I was like, okay, but, like, those are kind of over near my hometown. Is there anywhere that I can go, like, near where I am now to go and get it? And they were like, oh, well, we're not sure. And I'm like, damn, okay. Like, I feel like that's something that maybe you might know, like, for instance, the locations of your own, your own hospital chain or your own, like, wellness center chain. And perhaps, since you have access to a computer, you might even be able to tell me, hey, what's some other labs that are affiliated or like would accept this sort of thing, and just send me over there, so I'm not just going around and trying to like find shit on my own. And initially what I did is I set up an appointment with one of these awful like private labs in the city. And it was just like someone who didn't know like what tests they were, and then they put someone else on, and they were like, oh yeah, we can do that, it'll just cost $60, you want to make an appointment? And I did, and then I just straight up skipped that appointment, and they never contacted me. So I'm glad I didn't go to those guys, otherwise my my records would probably just get lost in the fucking void. But then I hit up the nurse or whatever on the portal again. I was like, hey, I think I'll probably just go up to the my primary care office, just because it's like, it seems like it's easier. I'll just get it done there. They'll know what I'm there for, and it'll be fine. And I was like, oh, how do I make an appointment? He was like, you don't have to make an appointment. You can just walk in, and the hours are like this. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I figured I would just get that done on the day that I had like a different appointment for another fucked up part of my body. And it's not the one you're thinking. Yeah, so I mean, the day came around, and of course, like before I can even do the appointment, I do like some semi-important back end work for my company's like systems for science stuff. That's pretty vague, but I don't need to tell you the specifics. But like, so I was getting contacted all morning, so I had to keep going back and like fixing things for people and asking them, hey, did it work this time? Did it work this time? Did it work this time? Like, okay, I guess I'll try something else. And I did that for like 2 hours until it was like right before when I had to leave. And I hadn't actually tested out how far it was to get to the initial doctor's office that I needed to go to. And so I went there. I was trying to drive, and I was already going to be a little bit late, but I was like, it's fine. There's probably like 10, 15-minute grace period. I'm only going to be 5 minutes late. And what I did was, first, I didn't take the highway. I ended up just taking a road adjacent to the highway because I misread the map. So that knocked me back by a couple minutes. Then there's this weird-ass fucking fucked up rotary that you can really only get in my part of the country, where it's just this massive thing that loops around, and it branches off, and one half branches back onto the highway in the opposite direction, and the other half branches off into the town that's south of the town that I was going through. And so I took the wrong half of the loop twice. I just failed to merge to the right lane both times. And so that knocked off more time. I got a call through my car's phone answering system, which is like, it's really cool to have your music interrupted when you're already stressed, and then have someone tell you, hey, you're supposed to be here. And I was like, yeah, don't worry, I'll be there in like 5 minutes. I'll be right up there. And they were like, okay. And I was like, okay, fine, but I'm just going to go there. I'm not going to cancel yet. I'll just go and see if I can make it in, or if they can, take me on later, because I'm already going to be there. I get to this hospital, and on 10:30 in the morning on a Thursday, this place is just fucking swamped. It's insane. And I was like angry rolling up, but then I couldn't even stay angry because I took another wrong turn. I went to the wrong end of the hospital, and I just passed by the cancer ward, and there were a bunch of cars. There were a bunch of cars in front of me, and so I was like ready to get mad, and then I just saw people in like wheelchairs being wheeled into the cars, and I was like, God fucking damn it, I can't even be angry. I can't even like road rage right now, because it's like these people are having it way worse than me, And so I had to just like sit there and stew and pretend to not be a fucking crazy person for a minute, until the lanes kind of cleared up, and I was able to circle around through the little cul-de-sac thing, and then get over to the parking area. And the parking area was like a gated parking area that you allegedly have to pay for. But I think like during the day, they don't charge you, because people are going like in and out all the time. And because it's like a hospital, like if they forced you to pay for parking, like not overnight, that would be fucked up. But yeah, I went through, and I just got on this fucking carousel of dumbasses, just snaking our way through the parking lot that was packed. Like there was no way. And once again, Like my brain's just on angry autopilot, and it took me like three slaloms through the what is it? What do they do in skiing? Salam. I don't know. It's like switchbacks on a trail. It's just like 3 sets of switchbacks doing the same set of switchbacks over and over again before I was able to. I fucking figured out like just get me out of here. I'll just go to a different parking area. I'll park on the street. I got out of the gate, tried to park on the street. No parking on the street. Got to a different part of the giant hospital facility, and I was like, oh shit, there we go. There's a parking garage. Get me in there. And I zoomed in there, and I went up like 3 levels, and there were more slow ass people. But once again, we're at a hospital, so I can't be mad. Everyone there is also having a shit day. That's one thing that I think you can take away from this. Especially at places like a hospital or during rush hour traffic, pretty much everyone there is having a shit day. So it's like, there's no reason to just get mad at other people who are equally in the shit with you, or worse. So that was the lesson I took from that. So thanks, Mercury, fucking asshole. But anyway, I got there and I jogged into the building, and I saw that I was in like the whole wrong end of the fucking hospital building. This is like a giant facility, like probably like 100 acres at least of buildings for the hospital. And I saw I was in the wrong building, and I couldn't find the email that showed like which was the specific building I need to be in. I just saw like, oh, suite whatever. It was like on floor 4, and I was like, I am on floor 4, but I don't think I'm in the right building. And that was when I noticed, like, fuck me, my appointment was at 10:30. It is now like 5 minutes to 11. And so at that point, I finally broke down, and I called the office, and I was like, I think I can't find the office, and I think I'm gonna have to cancel. Like I was borderline crying. I was trying to like, oh, be a man. Just be a man. Oh, don't break down in front of the old people who are definitely having a worse day at the hospital than I am. And I just like, yeah, and I was like ready to cry from just frustration. I was like, I can't find it. I'm just gonna have to reschedule. And they were like, okay. It was a different person, by the way. I was so late that like the other receptionist shift had ended, and a new receptionist was there to tell me like, hey, all right, we can reschedule. So I got that rescheduled, and I ended up getting kind of like lost in the car park for another like 10 minutes, but it was kind of cool because it had an open top. So I got to the top, and I got a nice view of the surrounding area. And then I eventually came down out of it, and I was still kind of mad, but once again, I passed by the other end, and it was like emergency services, and there were all these like 130-year-old people getting wheeled in and out of the building. And I was like, I can't be that mad. I gotta go home and continue my day a little bit. And then I guess I'll just go and get the test done. All right. I'll just go and get the test done, and it'll be cool. So I went home. I did some more work from home, like nothing work, because my work's a little slow right now. For the first time in like 6 months, it's finally a little bit slowed down. And so I was mostly just checking emails and stuff. There was a big like company-wide town hall meeting, which, by the way, generally speaking, unless you're like looking to get up to be an executive level, most worthless thing in an organization. No reason why I need to be there to learn about how the company is making more money than ever, and how like not only that the company is making more money than ever, but also that somehow the employees, me, are getting better benefits and better jobs stuff than ever. And I'm like, okay, if you say so. But then at that point, it was like, okay, it's probably going to be like over an hour drive to get to the place near my hometown where I need to get the blood test done. And so I finally like, I was like, all right, fuck it. Ending my day now. I'll figure out if I want to take sick time or whatever later, because no one's talking to me. It's cool. And so I shut everything down, and I ate like a gross sandwich really quick. It was gross because I made it. It's no one else's fault but me. I just slapped a bunch of turkey and cheese together and just ate that. And then I was back on the highway, zooming up north towards my hometown. And it's like, if I had a little bit more planning and forethought, I could have like made a day out of it. I could have been told like my parents, hey, I'm coming up here for this and this. I can get like some lunch or whatever. No, I was too angry. I didn't want to talk to my parents. I was just like, let's just get this over with. Then I can get the work done, and everything will be fine. I grabbed all the copies of the documents because I accidentally got an extra copy sent to me through the mail, which is fucking stupid, but whatever, I did it. So I brought like all 60 copies of my, no, it was more like 6 copies, 2 copies of each test. But, because I'm a very sick lad. No, it was fine. It's all routine. It's whatever. Shut up. That doesn't matter. I went up to, I drove up there. I hit some traffic as usual because it's just northern highway hellscape. And, but eventually I hit open freeway. I was making it kind of around the time that I needed to make it. Like I had a half hour at least before they were closing. So I was fine. I was like, all right, you know what? This is good. I'm up here. We're chilling and we're going to get there on time, and I'll sign in and everything will be cool. And then when I got to the place, I went in and I signed in. I did the right thing. Really nice, like, I don't know if he was like the head lab attendant or like the whoever is there, like the doctor for the lab. It was this really nice older guy, and he was like, hey, come into the office. Let's see what you have here. Let's make sure we can do it right. And I was like, finally. Something not hectic and like crazy and insane. I can just go in. There's like no one else in the waiting room. So it was like totally chill. I found parking and everything. It was great. And I went in there and we went through there, and he was like, I'm here, sit down. And he's like, let's see what we have here. And then 5 seconds later, he read the paper for like 5 seconds. And then 5 seconds later, he was like, well, you're going to have to come back. And I was like, what the fuck? But at least I was like, well, at least I'll be able to get some of the other tests done. And he was like, yeah, this one here, you need to fast before taking this one. Did you make sure to fast overnight? And I was like, I mean, I could have said yes, but I don't want them to say that I have like diabetes or something because I fucking lied about eating beforehand. And I was like, fuck, yes, yeah, I ate before. And he's like, oh, okay. Yeah, so this one is it's a test where you need to be fasting beforehand. You have a big dinner and you eat a snack and blah 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 blah. And then and he was like, yeah, but and then they seem to want all of these done together. So you're gonna have to come back at some point. And I was like, I drove like an hour and a half here. And he was like, oh well, where are you living now? Are you living nearby? And I was like, no, I'm living an hour south. And he was like, oh, okay. Well, you can just go to any one of our facilities and get this done, right? And I was like, what the fuck? Because the nurse, I don't know. Once again, maybe this is my fault, just not understanding what was being texted over to me. But I thought that it's like, oh, we don't know if you can get stuff done like elsewhere. You should be able to. And it's like, but it didn't seem like explicitly that she said, hey, any one of this type of hospital, you can go and just get it done. You can just walk in and get it done. Number one, I didn't know I could just walk in and get it done until like 2 days before. But yeah, I definitely didn't know that it could just be any of that brand of hospital service. And I was like, well, shit. and I was like, okay, well, thank you. Because the guy was just too nice. I couldn't even be mad at him. This wasn't even a situation where it was like the ginger dude in Citizens Bank, where I was just like, I was mad, but I was like tired and I'm just not feeling very confrontational. I was feeling confrontational. I was ready to be like, just take the fucking blood out of my arm. Just put the needle in. Put all 4 needles in at the same time. Put some on my fucking femoral arteries too. Get as much blood as you need. Just take it out of me. But I couldn't. The guy was too nice. And I was like, well, shit. He's being very reasonable and I don't want to get a fucking wrong diagnosis because of this. So I guess I just got to go home. And I was just like kind of running it over my head. And that's when I realized my girlfriend had told me something about like, oh, Mercury's in retrograde. Oh, shit, look at that. And I was like, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a fuck? That's not fucking anything. And I realized, and then in that moment, walking out of the hospital, I realized, oh, Mercury's in retrograde. What do I remember about that from my mom and from like other astrology enjoying people that I know? And I was like, oh, you're not supposed to schedule travel on travel or communications when Mercury is in retrograde. And I came out of that hospital and I just went, fuck. And I laughed because it's like, oh, I guess I'm a believer in this now. Or even if I'm not a believer, I guess it's just real for me on this day. Like, it doesn't even matter if I believe or not. In this case, Mercury's retrograde is actually fucking real. The planet, the Mercury's moving faster than the Earth, and it looks like it's going backwards. And because of that, I drove like fucking 2 hours, more than that actually, because the way back was even worse getting back into the city. Probably like 3.5 hours of driving for nothing. And then from there, I was like, okay, I can't just drive straight back. I'll just go and hang out in I'll just hang out in this area around that's like kind of near my hometown, and then I can go to like the bank in my hometown that's my other bank, and I can go to the ATM there and do that sort of shit, and that'll be fine. And in the meantime, let me go take a little like hike somewhere. And of course, I had forgotten, once again, brain not being organized. I'd forgotten that there was like 2 feet of snow on the ground still. But I was like, whatever. I got boots. I'll be okay. It'll be fine. And I was like, let me find. Oh, there's like a trail around here near the strip mall, and I'll just go over there, and I'll find like some parking, and I'll walk in the woods for a while and decompress. I spent another half hour at least driving around this shitty ass town and trying to find this town just right off the freeway with a strip mall, and it's just going around the strip mall around this same patch of woods. But the patch of woods is closed off on all sides by private neighborhoods and private property, and then the highway on the other side. And every place that I saw that was on Google Maps that like said it was like a trailhead or like, oh, parking area, oh, here's the trail. Nothing. Just either a giant mountain of snow or like yards and houses, or there's like a fucking Home Depot or something built on top of it. And I was like, fuck me. Mercury's retrograde is real. The planets have indeed forsaken me. Mercury is gunning for me. It's going to crash into the Earth if I try and travel anywhere else important. And so I finally said, whatever. I give up. I give in to Mercury. Whatever that means. Which I guess just means not trying to do anything important. Because I decided the whole rest of the day, not doing anything important. I ended up passing by a place where I used to hike a little bit as like a kid, like with my parents. And so I went there and I just walked on it for a while. And there's no one else around. It was pretty surreal. Like, I guess the weather was just kind of shit, so there's no one around anyway. But like, yeah, I mean, I was just kind of like, I was running past this big like solar farm, and I literally just ran into the woods, and I was just wearing like a sweatshirt. The wind's whipping around me, so I'm freezing cold, and it sucked. But I was just like, you know what? Giving into the planets. Just give into the bullshit for today. And you can regain control tomorrow, and it'll be fine. And you know what? It was fine. I was just like, I was giggling like a lunatic as I ran, and I got a bunch of snow in my boots because the snow, once again, was like 2 feet high, and it was just going in through my fucking sweatpants that I was wearing because I thought I was just going to be going to the doctor's office. And but yeah, I walked around, and I felt the nostalgia for like my hometown area. I didn't even tell my parents though. I didn't even tell my parents that I was there. I could have stopped by and said hi, but they were at work anyway, so it didn't really matter. But yeah, no, I went around and I like looked at some places where I used to hang out with my friends and stuff. And so instead of going and getting concrete things done, I decided I went a little bit introspective. I just kind of like, thought about where I come from, and like, maybe some creative projects I wanted to work on. I thought about this podcast, honestly, and how I still want to keep doing this bullshit, even though it doesn't make me any money, and no one's listening. So it's like, I'm really just doing it for myself, but at least I'm doing it for myself, And you know what? Hey, look at this. Look at this paragraph right here. It says, that said, retrograde periods are also considered a valuable time for reflection. Said that your intuition may be heightened, and that seemingly odd coincidences might carry meaning. The planets, man. The planets have a mind of their own. And they're not only destroying my rigid lifestyle, but they're also forcing me to be introspective. What the fuck is their problem? Yeah, I swear, that shit is real. Shit's real now. I mean, I'm not gonna like study it or anything, so I'm not gonna like, I'm not gonna actually have any predictive power over it because, scientifically that's not fucking real. But you know what? Not scientifically, like metaphysically, like who knows? Maybe the planets do some shit. Maybe they're talking about me behind my back. Maybe they're the ones that put those likes on my videos. Who knows? Maybe the parents? Ooh, Freudian slip. Maybe the planets really actually have my back. Who knows? Maybe I do gotta get into astrology. Maybe if I record like on the right days for my star sign, then I'll actually start getting more views and interaction and shit. But also, what really is supposed to help with that is being consistent, and that's just not going to happen for the time being. Eventually, I'll get back on a more consistent track, but right now I've just been too busy. Sorry. Until the income from this reaches like even 25% of the income that I'm making from a real job, this is gonna come second. That's just how it is. Anyway, that's kind of that was my little perspective on astrology, and I guess not even astrology in general, but I guess just like the astrology where you talk about the movements of the planets and Mercury being retrograde. That's like the one. That's honestly the only one that I've heard from people that I feel like is maybe even a little bit real. But then again, that might just be because people are inherently disorganized and then they actually just notice it when this, specific time of chaos is supposed to be happening. But yeah, you know what? Who knows? It's on the almanac. Sorry. Check out almanac.com. Not sponsored. They can go fuck themselves. Boo, their thing is bullshit. Boo. Anyway, let's talk about... I guess before we go, I can run through some of my my films and my literature. As far as movies, I finally watched. I think I already mentioned this. I watched Requiem for a Dream recently. That one was fucked up. I watched. What else did I watch? Oh, I finally watched Spirited Away. Which is one of a string of Miyazaki movies that I'm trying to watch this year. Because I'm like I said, I'm trying to get more into my artistic side and my cultural side, and not that I'm Japanese, but like just getting into culture in general. Not that you have to be Japanese to be watching Miyazaki movies. That's not my point, and you understand that, fake listener, okay? Straw man that I'm talking about here, you understand that. But yeah, I mean, Miyazaki, he's like, he's the master of Japanese animation, or anime as it's called. I think technically Miyazaki movies are anime. Actually, before I put my foot in my ass, let me just see. Is Studio Ghibli, which is the studio that makes a lot of Miyazaki's films, anime? Yes, Studio Ghibli is a renowned Japanese animation studio producing anime films and shorts. So yeah, it is technically anime. Yes, of course, even under the most pedantic definition. All right, you fucking Reddit nerds, shut up. Animated and made in Japan. Yeah, it just doesn't look like the typical like annoying or you know what? I feel like even talking about that gets a little bit into the racist stuff. I, in general, historically have found anime to be kind of like over the top and irritating, and I'm not a fan of like the kind of jagged, or at least I wasn't a big fan of the jagged art style. And obviously, what really influenced this was just how annoying anime people in the United States can be. Not all of them. Some of them are, some of them are pretty cool about it to an extent. But like the people who are like really into it, it's like there's just nothing that I can relate to there, man. But I had been hearing, I have watched a little bit before. Like I tried to watch parts of Attack on Titan. Relatively recently, I watched Avatar: The Last Airbender, even though that's technically an American animation, but it's in the Japanese animation style, so sort of like an anime. It's like the starter anime for like Americans to like palate cleanse them into anime. That doesn't make sense, but it gets you started on that sort of thing. But Studio Ghibli is like kind of the next most accessible form of anime to me, because it tells like it's got a lot of like kind of the over the top characters, but not like so over the top that it's like weird. They also tend to stay away from really perverted topics because the primary audience appears to be children to some extent, although there's also like, there's themes that adults are going to pick up more, and it's still going to have an impact on adults. So far, I watched Princess Mononoke, which I believe I maybe partly reviewed earlier last year. And then also, I've watched, and then Spirited Away. Spirited Away is the only other one. And that was the one I watched most recently. Still have to watch ones like My Neighbor Totoro and Porco Rosso and there's a Grave of the Fireflies, which is supposed to be really fucking sad. That one's supposed to be fucking real sad. Spirited Away isn't that sad. That it's kind of the most like child friendly Studio Ghibli film that I've watched so far, where it's just kind of like just a young girl lost in a world of spirits, and her kind of pig-headed parents end up getting trapped in this like spirit realm because they end up eating food laid out as offering for the spirits at like this mystical spirit spa or whatever. It's kind of difficult to explain, but it's like it becomes easier kind of once you watch it. But like your parents get trapped, and so she has to figure out a way to free them from the master of this realm. And like on the way, she meets all these crazy characters, and it's got some like environmental messages, and it's all just like it's all relatively light though. Nothing too terrible, nothing crazy gory or anything like that. Although I have noticed that like Studio Ghibli films, they aren't afraid of having a little bit of blood, which is interesting because it's like, it's not something that you normally think about in a lot of, especially modern children's movies. Like you're not going to get blood, but like these ones are a little bloody. It's not like people being bloodied. I think that might be kind of where they draw the line. But there's definitely like different creatures getting bloodied up and things like that, and getting cut and shit like that. So it's definitely somewhat mature, but also for the most part it's like kind of a children's story, relatively simple, but with a lot of really cool animation. And I think I read somewhere that Miyazaki, he tends to like personally pick like the English voice actors for the English dub of the films, because they're all originally recorded in Japanese, but for the English dubs he tends to hand pick the voice actors so they kind of sound like their characters. And I've noticed this really helps me not be this reduces the irritation for me of watching these anime films, because in other animes that I've seen like clips of, or that I've seen parts of, like watching with like some anime dweeb friends in high school, like the English dubs can be the worst part. Like I'd rather just watch it in Japanese and read subtitles sometimes, but Studio Ghibli films so far have the good dubs. and the characters sound like the characters. They don't sound like I mean, sometimes they do because they're supposed to be that way, like they're supposed to be goofy shit. But like I noticed even in like real live action shows, like there's this Korean reality show that I've been watching. Well, no, I haven't been watching. My roommate or girlfriend roommate. I've been watching parts of it, and that like it's dubbed over in English, even though some of the characters speak English. Not characters, some of the people, the contestants speak English, but it's mostly in Korean. But the dubs are terrible, and it's like, damn, these are real people. You can't just find like real people who sound like these people. But no, it's like everyone's trying to do like their own like fucking twist on this person. They're like, nah, 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 nah. And it's like, is that really like the direction, the tonal direction given to you by the producers here, or the director or whoever? I really don't think so. I think you're just trying to do your own thing so you can get other voice acting work. But this isn't a fucking cartoon here, dude. These are like real people just trying to talk. So I don't know what the fuck you're doing. But Studio Ghibli hasn't seemed to have this problem so far in the films that I've watched from there. So overall, Spirited Away, good movie. Watch it. Watch other Studio Ghibli films, or at least watch this one and Princess Mononoke, because those are the only ones I watched. And then I think I watched one other, but there was like an older one from the 80s, but I don't remember the title. I just remember it was also about like a nature spirit type of thing, and it was pretty cool. Anyway, I guess last thing, literature. I am reading Paradise 1, which is a science fiction horror novel, allegedly. I've hit the science fiction part. I haven't exactly hit the horror quite yet. I'm about 100 pages in, and it's all mostly just science fiction / science fiction space travel disaster, and not a hell of a lot of horror, but, you know, they have time. They have time to freak me out if they want to. I don't remember exactly who wrote that book. It's like someone named like Roberts or something. Paradise 1. I believe the show came out about it. Roberts? No, David Wellington. Okay, yeah, they have that. I believe there is a show based on it. Paradise, post-apocalyptic thriller. Oh no, Paradise, that's different. So that's something completely different, it seems. Paradise 1 is a book. It's set in deep space, so not quite the same thing at all. Because Paradise, the TV series, is like, it's about a bunker on Earth. But yeah, I mean, so far, book's pretty good. Characters are kind of pretty standard sci-fi horror characters. I don't know if I'm going to finish it if it doesn't pick up in like another 100 pages, because there's like 500 or 600 pages to this book, and I got other more important stuff that I really wanted to read and perhaps review on the podcast, or discuss with my guests or something like that. So I don't know if I'm 100% going to finish this one, but you know, I'll try. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, beyond that, coming up on an hour here. You know, this can be kind of a quick episode, I think. I'm not trying to go overboard. I do have some other topics that I could talk about. For example, my opinions on the Weather Channel app, which I guess I can just run through. The Weather Channel app is paywalled now. That's it. I fucking hate paywalls. We all know this. Every time I go into Bird News and I try and read a New York Times article, I get fucking paywalled. But, you know, I didn't think that they could paywall the weather. That wasn't something that I thought could happen. Because I have a Samsung phone, Weather Channel app. At least on my old phone, it showed up already. And it came standard with the Android iOS. Or no, not iOS. Android. iOS is Apple, right? I don't fucking remember. Anyway, it's the Android operating system. And it used to come standard with the Weather Channel app. But this time, I think with this new phone, I had to download the Weather Channel app, but that was fine because it was still free. I could still just go and check the weather and get like weather alerts and things like that. But like a little while ago, late last year, I think, which is coincidentally when a bunch of other shitty things have also happened. But like, you know, nothing's coincidence anymore. Not with the planet bullshit retrograde being real. But yeah, now it wanted me to make an account. And I'm like, I'm not making a fucking account. It's like, oh, your free trial is over or some shit like that. Or at the very least, it wanted me to make an account. And you know what? I'm not making an account. I'm not making an account. I'm not putting a credit card into the Weather Channel. I'm not going to subscribe to emails from the Weather Channel. I'm not doing any of that. Okay? I figured out there is like sort of a vague weather app on the phone that is connected to the Weather Channel. Like if you tap on stuff too much, it goes into online mode and you go onto a browser and it just takes you to the Weather Channel website anyway. So I mean, that's fine. It's the same thing. It's just annoying that the official app is like, oh, make an account. Fuck off. Just show me if it's fucking gonna rain later in the afternoon. Like, isn't this like kind of a needed service? You know, like what else am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go on the radio? I guess I could go on the radio, but like the radio doesn't do weather anymore because you can just see weather forecasts on your TV and on your, and on your apps and shit. Like, this really shouldn't be that hard. I don't know who's making a Weather Channel account. You got to go to Weather Channel Premium. I know they have like a whole thing. Well, number one, they have a whole TV station, the Weather Channel, but they also have like a YouTube channel. Do they have Weather Channel Premium where you can watch all of your weather clips in one place? That would be pretty cool, but I'm not going to pay for that, and I'm not going to make an account so they can spam me with emails from the Weather Channel about what the weather is going to be. That's bullshit. I'm not doing it. It's insanity. I can't handle it. I can't handle it with having to make all these accounts. I have a gigabyte sized file worth of semi-encrypted passwords hidden somewhere in my just in space, you know. You don't know. I realized about halfway through I probably shouldn't say like, oh, where in which folder is my big password list. Like, I don't even have a password list. I just keep it all in my head. It's all up here, all 200 passwords or whatever it is. But I'm not adding another one for the Weather Channel. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening to this episode. Make sure to check out the podcast on YouTube and on Blue Sky and Instagram and Mastodon, and probably eventually some other stuff at OTNT Podcast. I'm gonna have more episodes out soon. It's not gonna be as consistent as you like, but maybe I'll try and front load some over. Shut up. It's a madhouse. I'm gonna probably try and front load some. What the fuck is your problem?
She's looking for Mr. Piss.
Whatever. More.
Mr. Spray.
Yeah, the pisser's under the desk over here. He's in solitary. All right, and you're gonna join him in solitary. That kind of contradicts the meaning of solitary, but whatever. Probably gonna front load some more episodes. We'll have more stuff up soon. All right, this animal. Thank you. Goodbye.